Hello and welcome back to my channel Safety Off Gaming, where today I'll be talking to you about the AN94 and whether this gun is viable in Warzone. If you like the video, don't forget to smash that like button, and if you'd like to find your way back to my channel, subscribe so you don't miss another video. Now let's get into it. So the first thing I want to talk about with the AN94 is its very unique feature, and that unique feature is the hyperburst at the beginning of the gun. It's a faster fire rate, then tails off into a slower fire rate. If you want to make this gun work, you have got to hit that initial hyperburst. Otherwise, the TTK on this gun is significantly lower than most guns in Warzone. But hitting that hyperburst makes it very competitive to the medium to long range. Short distance, you're never going to use this. You're never going to use this gun as a sniper support. It's just not viable at all in that nature. But from medium to long range, it can be very viable. But that is reliant on that hyperburst, like I've just mentioned. That has to be hit. Now, to control that hyperburst, it's mainly vertical recoil. So just pull down if you're on the mouse, pull down on if you're using controller on the left analog stick, on the right analog stick, sorry, and you need to control that vertical recoil. After that, the recoil on it is very minimal. There's a little bit of side to side bounce, but it's very minimal. This gun, I would suggest, would probably be used to your lower skill to mid skill players. I'm not going to say this is going to be something that the higher tiered players are going to use. I'm just going to be flat out honest. This is not something that the higher skill players are going to be using. Yes, it's low recoil, but there's a lot of guns out there, and if you're high skilled enough, you're going to want to go for something more powerful like the AMAX that has a bit more recoil to deal with for your lower skill players, but hits a lot harder. The benefit of the AN94 is its bullet velocity. It's very high compared to something like the AMAX, which helps hit those long range shots. But if you're shooting BBs, it doesn't matter really, does it? If you're skilled enough and you're both hitting your shots, you're going to lose that gunfight. But hitting that hyperburst and hitting all your shots from a medium to long range, it will beat the likes of the GRAW, the Kilo, the M13. And I'm talking solely at mid to long range, because at close to mid, you're not going to win those fights. Still, it's poor from close up, but it only has one damage drop off, which makes this gun a little bit better. So I'm not going to be sat here now telling you it's OP, it's zero recoil, it hits harder than a truck, it's the next best thing, it's meta. Unfortunately, this gun isn't. Was it fun to use? Yes, it's fun to use to a certain degree, but it can get frustrating when you're in those one-on-one gunfights. You hit all your shots, but you still lose that close range battle. So you've got to pair this gun with something like a MAC-10 or MP5, MP7, something that's going to be good at close range, or even pair it with an FFAR. You're just not going to win those close gunfights with this gun. So based off of that, I will take you through the best possible class setup for a mid to long range, if anyone that still wants to use this gun. Let's get into it. As for the class setup for the AN94, for obvious reasons, to start off with, you're going to want to go with a monolithic suppressor. That's going to keep you off the minimap. It's also going to increase your damage range and also increase your bullet velocity, which is needed to hit those longer range shots. So that's the first attachment. Second attachment you want to go for is the longest barrel available. That's going to help you with that longer range shots, but in this case it also is going to help you with that vertical recoil control, which is needed for that initial hyperburst. So it's going to increase your damage range, bullet velocity, and reduce your vertical recoil. So we're going to put that one on. Now for the underbarrel, we're going to want to go for the Commando foregrip. Now this helps with vertical and horizontal recoil, so 9% on the vertical and 15% on the horizontal. So again, that's going to help in that initial hyperburst and for the shots that there follow. So the Commando foregrip again is the way to go here. It's also the least impactful to your ADS out of the other underbarrels. Next is the ammunition. Now, as this does take quite a few shots to kill in some scenarios, you're going to want to go for your biggest mag possible. In this case, it's the 60 round casket mag. So we're going to pop that on. Next, you're going to need an optic. And now, by far, in all the Modern Warfare guns, the best option for that long range is the VLK optic. Those that you don't know the reasons of why it's the best is because of its help for recoil control. It actually helps your vertical recoil by 11% and the horizontal bounce by 20%. So it's going to help again with that initial hyperburst to hit at longer ranges. So that's the best class setup for this gun. I hope you enjoyed the video and answered your question of whether this gun is viable. Thank you, I'll see you in the next one.